Hello people, I am Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hello!
We just got done shooting a lot of videos and sent Cami Storm on her way home, and then we noticed this right here, and I can't send ACHARA home until we do this reaction.
Nope.
So here we are. So we're looking at SARILERU NEEKEVVARU, the trailer with superstar Mahesh Babu and Vijayasanthi. It's written and directed by Anil Ravipudi. It's also starring Rashmika Mandanna.
Okay.
So this is a Telugu film, and this comes out 2020. It doesn't say exactly when. Sankrathi. So, all right, here we go.
దేవుడా ఒక క్యూట్ స్వీట్ హ్యాండ్సమ్ కుర్రాడిని చూపించవయ్యా నీకు అర్థమవుతుందా
Here he comes.
నీకు అర్థమవుతుందా I'm impressed.
అమ్మాయి తీసుకెళ్ళరా కానీ సాటి మగాడిగా నుంచి మగాళ్ళ మాట విమర్శనంగా
ఇలాంటి ఎమోషన్స్ నెవర్ బిఫోర్ ఎవర్ ఆఫ్టర్
సాటి సోదరికి
వయసులో ఉన్న ఆడపిల్లని నీ నోటితో సోదరి అనుకు తట్టుకోలేదు బాబు
ఫ్లోలో అన్నానంటే
Oh, does the whole movie take place on the train?
No.
They've been on the train this whole trailer.
ఇలాంటి డ్రామాలు నెవర్ బిఫోర్ ఎవర్ ఆఫ్టర్
This is not indicative of the teasers we saw.
15 ఏళ్ల ప్రొఫెషనల్ కెరియర్ ఇంతవరకు తప్పుని రైట్ అని కొట్టలేదు
నేను తప్పులే చేస్తాను రెడ్డి దాన్ని ఎప్పుడైనా రైట్ కొట్టాల్సిందే
అరే చాలా కాన్ఫిడెంట్ గా ఉన్నాడు
మీరు తీసేస్తారు బాబు
Shoot.
100 మంది మధ్యలో ఒక్కడు
Oh.
ఎవరైనా వెళ్ళి కట్ చేయండి
నీ కాలేజ్ స్టూడెంట్ అనుకుంటున్నావా స్టేట్ మినిస్టర్ ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నావు
కాలేజ్ స్టూడెంట్ అనుకుంటున్నావా స్టేట్ మినిస్టర్ లేడీస్ ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నావు మీరందరూ నేను కాపాడుకుంటున్న ప్రాణాలు మీకోసం ప్రాణాలు ఇస్తున్నావు అక్కడ మీరేమో అడ్డమైన పనులు బాధ్యత కదా
Yeah.
చిన్న బ్రేక్ ఇస్తున్నాను తర్వాత బొమ్మ దద్దరిల్లిపోద్ది దద్దరిల్లిపోద్ది
Okay,
Oh, it's really soon. It's next week.
I just started connecting it. Okay, so
Yeah, 'cause
like
remember it
no,
was
I now
all
I
that-
yes, I
Yes.
remember now. It's late. It's after midnight, and we just shot for 6 hours. I'm connecting it now.
Okay.
I wasn't connecting it initially. I'm like, wow, this is an interesting movie. It all takes place on a train.
Yeah, and it seems like a rom-com, right? Whereas like the I remember the very first teaser very distinctly because
It was like a military one.
Yeah, because it was like so patriotic, and it's him, and they're camping, and he's in his uniform. I'm like, wow, he looks great. Is it like, you know?
We did that with Gabby, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then now it's like, oh, it's a train, and there's a romantic element, and the girl is super cute. Like,
She's all over him.
I know, and I'm thinking that's kind of a problem that you probably wouldn't mind having.
Okay, I have a story for you guys.
Okay.
Because it's not about me.
Oh, yeah.
My dad was in Asia with my mom, and I might have been a baby at the time. But what happened was my dad was in the street. Because he was a very active dude, and so he was in the street playing like soccer or something with the locals in the area, and he like someone kicked the ball up into the roof of this building, of this house or something. And he's like, don't worry, I'll get it. And my dad was a very ambitious dude, and so he goes to get it. So let me rewind a little bit. The daughter who lived at this house was in the backyard praying to God, saying, God, please give me a husband.
Oh my god. And then your dad shows
And
up.
so she's like, please, I'll do anything. And so my dad goes to get the ball, and like he crashes through the roof. Like it's like out of a movie right in front of her. And she's like, thank you, God. So she was convinced that God gave him to her. It was like
Yeah.
he had to like wiggle his way out of that,
It's
which
like,
is crazy.
I already have a wife.
Yeah. This was funny. And so like that's what that reminded me of, was because she's like praying like, God, please give me, a handsome guy, etc., etc. And then he shows up and Mahesh Babu is like such a pretty man. And so yeah, you can see why she's all over him. And it's like for her, it's like the gods basically handed him to her.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's not beyond the realm of possibilities is what I'm like. This thing could totally happen in real life is what I'm saying, because it happened to my dad.
Yeah, that's a pretty incredible story, to be fair.
I mean, I've had a story like that happen to me in a weird way, not as directly as that, but
Oh, did you pray for a girl, or were you the
no, I was the one.
gift?
I was the one prayed for. Like my ex-girlfriend was like, God, this is a true story. And she was drunk when she told me. She was totally honest.
Right.
She was like, she said, I prayed for you to come into my life. I'm like, what do you mean? I was drunk too, so I could deal with that. And
You're like, that's not weird.
And she goes, well, I hadn't had a good relationship, and so I was praying for God to bring someone into my life that could show me what a relationship was supposed to be, and that's you. I was like, wow. Well, so that's a cute like beginning to what was otherwise a very dramatic relationship. But so later on that night she threw up because she was really drunk.
Oh.
But it was just fascinating to hear that. Anyway, point being is prayers sometimes come true. Like it's just like a random coincidence. Like she prayed for him, and like she's
Yeah.
like a pretty guy, and it's like, gosh, that prayer paid in dividends.
Well, just be careful, because you never know what you wish for.
But then he's calling her sister and whatnot.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm not
you don't
like
do that.
He's not into her. He doesn't see her that way, which
Or he's just the type of guy who's like so focused on the job at hand, on what he's doing, that he doesn't realize that this pretty girl in front of him is super into him. And so he's just treating her like any other girl. Or else he's just so good looking that he gets accosted by pretty girls all the time.
I would believe that, honestly. But like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I kind of have no idea what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Like, cause the first. Each teaser feels so different.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's consistent is him being this leader type dude. And so
Exactly.
that's all I'm getting from this. And it's not like anything against the film, because like they're throwing so many different angles at me. I'm hoping that this is like gonna coalesce into something that's sensible once if you actually watch the film and it's like cohesive into a nice narrative.
Right.
And so what we're seeing at the very least is that he's a leader type individual, right? And so that is paramount to anything else in his life. So he doesn't even have time to recognize the possibility of love and affection from someone of the opposite sex, because he's too busy trying to save everybody's lives and make sure everyone's all right.
Yeah.
And tonally, I got a little bit confused because that first trailer, or teaser, I should say, felt very patriotic, very military, very serious, very Uri.
Yes.
And like Vicky Kaushal. And so then the second one was like totally different. And then this is like way off, like in this other area.
Yeah.
But I like all of them. They just they don't seem like the same story.
Yes.
And so I'm very curious to see how this is all going to pan out.
I also really like the older woman, and I think I've noticed her before in the other teasers. Like, I just think she has such a strong presence about her. Like, she commands the room, and I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I buy you as like this strong boss lady.
Mahesh Babu strikes me as like a male anime character brought to life.
How so?
Like, cause he's just like, he got perfect features and
Yeah.
like the hair and everything, and his shape, like his body shape, he just looks like an anime character brought to life. It's really crazy. He doesn't age. Like, his face has no.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's makeup and Photoshop and whatever, but like, he just shows no signs of age. He looks like he just got out of college. So
I know, it's not fair.
To me, what do you mean it's not fair? Look at you. So he just seems like an anime character brought to life. Saying that is kind of ironic because I'm sitting next to an anime character brought to life. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed this teaser and
Trailer.
I guess that's a trailer. Yeah, but it just felt like so like the whole thing was on the train.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't. It's funny to call that a trailer because like that is all mostly like probably 10 minutes of scene from the movie.
Yeah.
It's not, doesn't really encompass or speak to the majority of what you're going to encounter in this movie.
Which is probably going to be more of the political
Yes.
and like action-y stuff.
Yes. And so to see that transition, I'm sure that things will work out with the girl in the end because she's persistent enough that she
Yes.
stays through. And then eventually, I feel like they're going to have some kind of kindling of romance right when the interval happens or right after the interval. And like she's going to be there for him during all these hardships and whatnot. I don't think they're going to get together at the end. Either it's going to happen at the midway point or he's going to be like, no, I just can't. And it's going to be like Bog Milk a Bog, where he's like, no, I just, you're not going to get in the way
I don't have time.
of me doing this thing over here. Because
Right.
like, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to focus on, you know, the grand scale, the macro scale.
Right.
So, yeah. So it's a, you know, it's an interesting premise. It's just like the tone is so different from trailer to trailer. So
It's interesting to me that they would have chosen the actual trailer of the movie to show the romance aspect
that
of
makes
it.
perfect sense to me.
Why?
Because that's the biggest draw. You look at Indian films, and so many of them have that romantic angle embedded in them, even in stories that have nothing to do with romance. They're still going to embed romance in it because it's a draw to fulfill, to satiate that craving for that audience. And like American films, or not American films, but American TV shows, like oftentimes you have that romance because that's the thing that. How I Met Your Mother. It's like it's always that thing that keeps people clinging and hanging on for the Pam and Jim office. You know.
Well, see, like, yes, but I would have thought that for a movie like this, the biggest draw would have been the action. That's why I was a little bit like, why wouldn't they have just shown more of the romance in like a little tease as opposed to being like, whoop,
I think
here it is in
because
the trailer.
because it's Mahesh Babu, I think we already know it's going to be action.
Right.
Like every
point.
single film I'm aware of that I have paid attention to from him has had action in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Even the one film we saw,
Spider.
had an amazing action sequence with a bunch of old ladies.
Yes. Very good.
He's an action hero, and so I
Yeah.
feel like that's a given. And so to really emphasize this romantic angle lets you know it's not just going to be action. There's also going to be this for, you know, that audience that wants that.
And that kind of very slapstick comedy as well. Like that bit in the train when they're all like moving in the same way and like saying the same thing. I was like, wow, that's very slapstick.
With the Telugu, I'm so bad, but like I don't know if it's Telugu or Tamil, but one of them, like even both of them maybe, I don't ever go, well, it's just going to be this tone.
No, yeah.
Right? It's like there's a scene in what's the precursor to 2.0?
And Theron.
In Theron, there's a scene where Rajnikant is talking to mosquitoes. I think it's mosquitoes, or he's talking to some kind of like breed of insects, and like you are not anticipating that when you go into that movie. Like that's not the film you thought you were going to
Yeah.
watch, and then that happens, and it's like you just sort of accept all these different things as like.
It's like a buffet.
It's yes, that's perfect. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's a buffet of genres,
Yeah.
and you get that oftentimes with the Telugu Tamil, and I just sort of accept that, kind of like Chinese films. It's like, you know, it mixes 2 or 3 genres that don't normally get mixed up together in American cinema, and so it's just
That's just how it is.
yeah, and so I don't. That's not a bad thing to me at this point. I just sort of like, okay, well.
Well, this is all the different flavors. This is all the courses that you're gonna get at this movie buffet.
I mean,
go ahead.
the easiest way to phrase it in American terms is it's a banana split.
Okay.
You know, you get, for those of you that don't know what that is, I'm sure you guys know what that is, but for those of you that don't know what that is, like they cut a banana down the middle, and then you have 3 ice cream flavors, and then like nuts and like chocolate and like
Whipped cream.
whipped cream. That's what it was.
Yes.
So you get all kinds of different flavors. That used to be my favorite thing as a kid. So it's a banana split genre. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Check out ACHARA KIRK on the social media, and let us know your theories about this film in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you guys think, what you know that I don't know or that I'm not picking up on. And subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified every time we drop another video. Follow me on the Instagram if you feel like doing that. And that's it for now. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.